Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we can now purchase land. However, our tutorial isn't really up to date on that yet, so let's go ahead and get our tutorial set up here. So we've got 1 through 5 for our tutorial. We're going to go ahead and bring this up to a size of 6 for right now. We'll head into our tutorial here and we'll put 006 in there. So in order to purchase land, you must first be in land purchasing mode. After clicking Next, click the Land Management button on the toolbar and select Buy Land. So we are on Unpause on entering Land Purchase mode. And I believe we implemented that. So that was in the Advisor object. Yes, we did indeed. Okay. And then in 006, you are now in Buy Land Interaction mode. Left-clicking on a building hex will allow you to purchase a piece of land. After clicking Next, try this. So then it would be, instead of unpause on entering land purchase mode, we would need this to be a new one. So public virtual void unpause on entering, or rather on purchasing land. If method equals null, do setup. Method equals unpause on purchasing land. Should unpause equals false. Else, nope, not particle animator. Else, method equals null. Okay, so with that being the case, then up here, else if method equals unpause on purchasing land, if hexmanager.business.ownedhexes.count is not equal to 0, should unpause equals true. Okay, so now it'll unpause after you purchase the land. Excellent. So advisor script element should be unpause on purchasing land, and then we'll go ahead and create an 007. So you're now in Buy Land Interaction mode. So we've now purchased the land. Congratulations. Congratulations. And then this will read, you have purchased your first piece of land. It's not really up to scratch though. It's got a building on it that you can't use. After clicking Next, enter demolition mode through the bottom toolbar. Okay, and then we will public virtual void unpause on entering demolition mode. Okay, if method equals null, do setup. Method equals unpause, nope, not nunpause. Unpause on entering demolition mode. Should unpause equals false. Else, method equals null. Okay, and then up here, we're going to do the same thing we've done previously. Else if method equals unpause on entering demolition mode. If hexmanager.business.interaction mode equals interaction mode dot demolition, should unpause equals true. Okay. So then it will enter demolition mode. And then it'll pop up again once you've entered demolition mode. And this will just simply read demolition mode. and it'll read something along the lines of, "You've entered demolition mode. Click on your hex to level that useless building." Of course, you can't level hexes that you don't own, so don't even try. No, of course, you can't level hexes that you don't own, so make sure to only demolish your new, or rather, only demolish your building. I mean, that kind of implies, of course, you can't level hexes that you don't own. Click next to continue. Okay, there we go. So that's 008, and then in our scripts, we will go ahead and have 8 currently, because we've got this one. Then unpause on entering demolition mode. And number 8 would be unpause on demolishing, which we have not implemented yet. So we're just going to have there be no function for right now. So we'll go into here, and we will have our advisor script be 7 and 8. Excellent. Okay. So on demolishing would be public virtual void unpause on demolition. If method equals null, then we do setup. Method equals unpause on demolition. Should unpause equals false. Else method equals null. Okay, and then up here, else if method equals unpause on demolition. Question is, how do we detect that the hex has been demolished? I think the answer is if hex manager dot business dot okay, if hex manager dot biome hex dot get world hex by index hex manager dot business, this is going to be a bit of a complicated one, hex manager dot business dot owned hexes 0 dot world hex. Okay. So if hex manager dot get world hex by 0, hex manager dot business dot owned hexes 0 dot world hex. I hate this. This is too hard coded. What if we want to use unpause on demolition later on when we're demolishing a particular building? I think we just need to hook up some kind of callback here. Maybe, yeah. Should unpause is private. So I think all we need to do is public virtual void unpause. Should unpause equals true. So we will just, when we go ahead and demolish it, we'll go in here and we'll tell it should unpause. Via the tutorial script. So on enter demolition mode, blah, 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 blah. So public void on demolish. And we're going to go ahead and say if... What do we have a reference to here? We have a reference to the confirmation window. And nothing else. Okay, we don't... So the business doesn't actually know about the tutorial script. Gotcha. We should have it know about it, I think. So public tutorial script, like so. And then if tutorial script dot method equals tutorial script dot unpause on demolition, then we can just say tutorial script dot unpause. Like that. I think that'll work. And then we just call business.onDemolition as an event when we actually demolish. So in the building hex, then, when we are in demolish mode, so like this says, first thing is we check that it's player owned. So we're going to grab our hex ID, and actually we're going to grab this here, because we're going to need that in basically all of these modes. So, for demolition, check that it's player owned. If, like we did up above, if not business.ownedhexes.contains hex ID. So if it is player owned, so not with the exclamation mark. If it is player owned, then we're going to deduct the destruction cost, which we have not yet set up. I think the destruction cost is probably going to be basically flat. So we'll go in here and we'll say public float destruction cost equals 150F. Now I've chosen that number very specifically because we have 150 plus, we have 650 total dollars left over, right? I think. After we purchase. So the goal is to have it so that we have $500 left over after the destruction cost. That's the idea anyway. So the next question is else debug.log replace me not a player owned hex. Okay. So here, if we have enough money, so if business.current funds is greater than the purchase cost, and actually we should probably be doing greater than or equal to the purchase cost for both of these, including in here. There we go. Then we're going to deduct the destruction cost and set this hex's building to none, which is going to be exciting. And also remove the rendered building, update the tooltip, because that's going to need to happen basically immediately. So deduct the destruction cost. Business.current funds minus equals purchase cost. There we go. Set this hex's building to none. So we need to do... We need to get the actual hex store here and set the building to none. So let's go ahead and say manager dot selected world hex dot biome hexes, and this is going to be hex ID dot biome hex dot buildings, and this is going to be hex ID dot building hex equals building dot none. Okay. Remove the rendered building. Okay, in the building hex manager, or rather the sub hex manager, we've got our list of buildings here. And then we populate our buildings. Okay. Okay. We delete the building from the building index. Yeah. Okay. And then we'd have to repopulate it with the building.none. Which I don't think we have right now. How exactly do I want to do this? So we need to go into the building hex manager dot buildings, and this will be hex id dot building hex. That'll get us our building right there. And I'm gonna just go ahead and destroy this, which is a list of game objects. Okay, so we're removing the rendered building, and then building hex manager dot buildings dot remove at xid dot building hex, and we just completely remove it for right now. Okay, when we're populating the buildings here in the sub hex manager, which really probably should have been renamed by now, but it's fine. When we're populating this, we're getting prefab from building enum. And the question is, do we have a none? What happens if none comes up? It returns a road placeholder. Let's move none up here. And return none. We're going to have to make a new prefab here. And we're going to say public game object none. This isn't really going to be an urban prefab, or any other prefab really, but I guess we'll call it a player constructed prefab for now. And then this is just going to be an empty, realistically. Let's compile this though and see if we've got any errors. We do not. Oh, that's something I would like to do. In the building hex, when we're purchasing, we do not need Where was that debug log? Is that in the confirmation window? Yes, right here. Okay, we do not need that. Fantastic. So, the next question is, when we're demolishing, we do all this, blah, blah, blah. Then we need to get our actual subhex. So, manager dot building hex manager dot subhexes hex id dot building hex dot update tooltips, like that. Okay. Now, this isn't going to pop up a confirmation. Maybe it should. I don't know. Maybe that would be annoying. We'll see how it feels without one. If I start making a bunch of mistakes later on, we may have to add one, but I think for right now, we're fine the way it is. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create an empty. And I'm just going to have this out here at 0, 0, 0. We're going to go into buildings, and we're going to call this... No, wait, what was that? Bibs? No, we're not going to call it bibs. We're going to call it none. Oh my. Okay, that's going to go right there. And then the building hexes here, it's going to go ahead and get, for none, none. Excellent. Okay. I wonder how much this is going to break things. Well, we can go ahead and do a 9 here. Kaboom. That building's history. Next, we're going to construct our own building. Enter construction mode through the toolbar, and then navigate to post office. I mean, we're gonna redo this later on, but for right now, that's all that's gonna hold. And we're gonna go into the scripts, and we're going to make the tutorial be 9 elements long. Okay, let's just go through the tutorial and see if the destruction works. I'll be a little shocked if it works out of the box, but who knows? Maybe it does. I guess we're about to find out. In before null reference exception. Okay. Next. A. Great job. Okay. Let's survey land, find a piece of land. This one will do. Hex levels. Biome hex. Land purchasing mode. Buy land. Left click to buy land. Okay, we're gonna buy this storefront. Confirm. You purchased your first piece of land. It's not really up to scratch though. Enter demolition mode through the bottom toolbar. Demolition. You've entered demolition mode. Click on your hex to level that useless building. Of course, you can't level hexes that you don't own. Click next to continue. Okay, so then you go ahead and level this hex, and nothing happens. Why is nothing happening? So we're in interaction mode.demolition. It must not think we own it. Why does it not think we own this hex? We're definitely owned. Yeah, the interaction mode tooltip is unimplemented. I suppose we could implement that. Yeah, that'll work. I'll figure out why that's not working later on. But case interaction mode dot demolition TTO dot tooltip content. Actually, let's first let's change this based on whether we are owned. So here, if business.ownedhexes.contains else TTO.tooltipContent equals you can't demolish buildings you don't own. There we go. And then we're going to break out of it right here. And then if we do own it, TTO.tooltipContent equals click to demolish, actually just demolition cost of, and then this would be plus system.enum.getName, and this would be building, and this would then be what was our tooltip title here? I mean, it would be exactly this. Which is a little complicated to get, but we can do it. So, like that. It's definitely a little complicated to get. Plus business dot what did I call that? Destruction cost, I guess. Okay, and then this needs a $sign right here. Business.destructioncost.toString. Okay, so there we've implemented the tooltip for demolition mode. And then the question is, why did the demolition mode not trigger here? Because the thing is... Oh, greater than purchase cost. What am I doing? Oh my. Business.destruction cost. There we go. That's why it didn't work. Okay. In we go. Now demolition should work. I hope. I wish? I wish. I wish demolition mode would work. I don't know for sure if it will or not, but we're about to find out. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna just breeze through this ASAP. There we go. Successfully named your company. Surveying land. And let's grab this piece of land. X levels. Purchasing land. We'll go to buy land mode. Okay. And we are going to purchase... How about this storefront? Yeah, let's purchase this storefront. For $18.75. Actually, we have $6.25. So we've purchased it. Next, demolition. We've entered demolition mode. Click on your hex to level that useless building. You can't demolish buildings you don't own. Demolition cost a storefront, $150. Boom. It removed this one. Hex number 35 rather than hex number 34. Interesting. And then transform child out of bounds. Oh boy, so that broke things a wee little bit. Instead of doing this, remove at, I feel like we should make a none in that spot. So game object go equals instantiate, and how did we do this in the subhex manager? Subhex is i.transform.position, biome hex.building rotation I. What if instead of doing this... Well, no, this shouldn't have caused an issue, right? Building ID.building hex. Well, I'm not sure exactly why this is causing an issue just yet, but it is time to put a cut in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll figure out why this is causing an issue. This is the end of my recording session for this one, so I'll probably come back and be like, oh, it's this, within the first 2 seconds, whereas right now, I would puzzle over it for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we'll make sure that this demolition is fully working. See you all then.